Hello everyone, welcome to A1 Tutor Live Class, the mathematics section. I believe you can hear me. Welcome to class. If you are online and you can hear my voice, please kindly signify. I want to be sure that everything is set for us to start the class. Okay, thank you for your response, Emmanuel Sadu. All right, so we are going to kickstart today's class. We are working on a new topic today, and the topic is what I call polynomial. So we are working on the topic polynomial. All right. So under this topic, we'll be looking at subject of the formula today. We'll be looking at subjects of the formula. Subject of the formula. For some textbook, it is called transpose of a formula. Transpose of a formula. So it can be called subject of the formula or transpose of the formula. Okay, so to introduce our topic today, we are going to do some illustrations so we can introduce this topic to us today. When you hear the word subject, the literal meaning of subject in English language has to do with the person performing an action in the sentence, right? Okay, so that is the literal meaning in terms of English. So bringing it to mathematics, subjects, that means when you hear the word subject in mathematics, it has to do with the variable of focus. I call it the variable of what? Focus. That is, in every expression in mathematics, if it is a formula, there's always a variable of what? Focus. And what I mean by variable is letter, okay? A variable is a letter. A variable is a letter or an alphabet in mathematics. So we said that subject means the variable of what? Focus. The variable of focus. Okay, just like what we have in the English when I said a subject. Okay, a subject is the one that performs an action in a what? In a what? Sentence. All right. So in mathematics also, it has a meaning that is kind of synonymous to that of English. A subject means a variable of focus in mathematics. And I said that variable are alphabets in mathematics. Alphabet like A, X, Y, Z, and so on and so forth. They are what? Variable. So the variable of focus is the what? Is the variable or is the subject that we are going to discuss today. If I have an expression in this form that I said A equals to B plus C. So in this case, the variable of focus is what? A, because A is the subject of the formula. A is the subject of what? The formula. So A is referred to as the variable of what? Focus. The variable of what? Focus. If I change it to B equals to probably, I said the C minus A. What is going to be the variable of focus here? Can you reply in the chat box? What will be the variable of focus in this expression? B. So the variable of focus is what? B. It means B is the subject of the formula. Okay? B is the subject of the formula. Is that taken? So now we have gotten the meaning of what a subject is. So what we are trying to work on today is that we'll be given formulas and we are going to be asked to make one of the variable in that formula the subject of the formula. Okay? So if I have x squared plus y equals to 4. And I'm asked to make x, this x here, I'm asked to make x the what? Variable of focus, which is what? The subject of the formula. The subject of the formula. That means x must be equals to something. X must be equals to what? Something. I believe the introduction part is clear to us. Can we proceed? Okay. Okay, let's proceed now. If you have questions, please kindly drop it in the chat box and we are going to attend to it. So let's proceed to the next thing we want to consider. We want to consider the tips and the hints in solving questions that has to do with subject of the formula. In subject of the formula, you don't actually need calculator. Okay, I'm not clear with the introduction. Okay, let me come again. So Jane, I was saying that we are talking about the topic today, subject of the formula. Subject of the formula. Are you with me? Are you following, Jane? Okay, so when we talk about subject of the formula, I was referring it to English, okay? If I said he is working, okay? Let's use that sentence. He's working or he's eating. What is the subject in this sentence? Can you tell me the subject? What was the subject in this sentence? He, good, very good. He is the subject, right? Now let's come back to mathematics, okay? Now I said subject in mathematics means the variable of focus. The variable of what? Focus. And when I say something is a variable of focus, I mean the variable that we concentrate on, the variable that we put all our mind on, the variable that we focus on is called the variable of focus. Okay? Now, what is now the meaning of variable in mathematics? Variables are letters, alphabets that are used in mathematics. Okay? So if I have 2x, the x there is a variable. Okay? If I have a is a variable. Okay? If I have w, w is a variable. If I have 4x plus z, what are the variables in this expression? J or anyone, can you reply that? What are the variables in this expression? X, okay, and what again? Z. Okay, thank you. That's a good response. Thank you, Jane. And thank you, Emmanuel. All right, so now let's proceed. We've gotten the meaning of variable. Now, linking it to variable of focus, when we have some expression in mathematics, okay, and we have it in this form, let's make use of another ink. We have something of this nature, A equals to W plus Y. The variable of focus is that variable that comes immediately, or let me say, it is that variable that comes before the equal sign. The variable that comes before the equal sign is the variable of focus and is also referred to as what? The subject of the formula. The subject of the formula. So here, before the equal sign, what do we have? A. So which implies that A is what? The variable of what? Focus. The variable of what? Focus. Also known as what? Subject of the what? Formula. Also known as what? Subject of the formula. I believe you get that, Jane. All right. So let's proceed. If I gave you this question, this expression, let me say 3x plus y equals to w. What is the variable of focus? What is the variable of focus here? Y. Are we sure that y is the variable of focus? The variable of focus always stands alone. Yes, these are the tips we are going to consider. The variable of focus always stands alone. It does not have any sign. It does not have any letter or number with it. So W is the variable of focus. Okay? Emmanuel, do you get that? W is the variable of focus. All right? So what about if I have this expression plus W square root over Z equals to A. What is the variable of focus here? A. Very good. Thank you for your response, Jane and Emmanuel. A is the variable of what? Focus, which is also known as what? Subject of the formula. Okay, so I believe it is clear. Now, can we proceed now? If yes, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, and let's move on to the next. All right, so we'll move on to the tips and the hints in solving subject of the formula question, okay? So permit me to clean the board. Still working on polynomial. Then apparently we are working on subject of the formula, subject of the formula. So I want you to follow attentively. Follow. So we want to look at the tips and hints, okay, in subject of the formula. Number one, the first hint. The first hint is that the subject of the formula, okay, has to stand alone. Anything we are considering, the variable of focus, okay, the variable of focus or the subject of the formula has to stand alone without any other variable beside it or without any other numbers or basic operation like plus or minus beside it, okay? So the variable of focus, which is subject of the formula, which is the subject, must stand alone. Must stand alone, okay? The variable of focus, which is the subject, must stand alone. Is that taken? That's the first hint. The second hint, the variable of focus or the subject must not appear in the other side. The variable of focus, or subject must not appear at the other side, okay? Now let me explain that. If I have A equals to 3 plus W, then I have A equals to 6A plus W. These are two expressions, right? The first one, we are saying that A is the subject of the formula. And the second one also, we are saying that A is the subject of the formula. Now, I said that the variable of focus must not appear at the other side. This is one side, and this is where I refer to as the other side, okay? This is the other side. Now, this is the side for the subject, and this is the other side. Now, I'm saying that if A is the subject of the formula, it must not appear in the other side. If it appears in the other side, that means we have not perfectly made A subject of the formula. Now look at this. Do we have A here? Do we have A here? Do we have anything like A in this expression? Yes or no? Do we have A in this expression? No? Okay. Thank you for your response. So this is perfectly accurate and correct. But let's check this. Do we have A in this expression? Do you have A in this expression? 6A plus W. Yes. So this is wrong. Okay. This is not the way to present a subject of the formula. Okay. So it is not allowed. This is not allowed. Okay. I believe you get the point now. So let's proceed. Number 3. Sometimes questions may come with square roots or they will come with square. And while you are solving, you will need to do some how would I call it, some process to ensure that you get your final answer. So one of the tips is that you cancel a square root, you cancel a square root with a what? A square, and vice versa. And what? And vice versa. I believe you understand that. If I want to cancel a square root in my question while solving, I'm going to use a square to cancel it. So if I have x square root equals to 4, and I want to have ordinary x, I want to have just x, I will say what? This is square root actually. So for me to cancel the square root, I'm going to use square both sides. So I'll have square root of x all square equals to 4 square. So square will now cancel square root. You have what? X. That is what I'm trying to what? Explain. The same thing is applicable to, you cancel a cube root with a cube. You cancel a cube root with a cube, and vice versa. Is that clear to us? Can we proceed? Is that clear to us? I said you cancel a square root with a square. When we start solving, we are going to come across questions like that. If x squared is equals to 4, how do you get the value of 4? You take square root of both sides. Okay, I'm just citing example. I said if x squared is equals to 4, how do we get the value of what? X. We are going to say square root both sides. You say x squared inside it, then another square root for 4. So what you have done now is what? To square root both sides so that this square will cancel square roots, and you are left with x equals to the square root of what? 4. Because what you want to get is not square. It's not x squared, but it is x, ordinary x. Okay? And that is why you need to take the square root of this expression. You have to take the square root of this expression so as to get ordinary what? X. I believe that is clear to us. Okay, now let's proceed. Another hint we have is that when you have fraction, okay, when you have fractions connected by plus or minus, you have to find the LCM. Okay, let's clean the board. When you have what? Fractions. When you have fractions connected by minus and or plus, by minus or plus, comma, all you have to do is to what? Is to obtain the what? LCM. Is to obtain what? LCM. All right? Is to obtain the LCM. Now, we are going to take some questions down to solve. Are you with me? We are going to consider some applications of all these tips that I have mentioned earlier. Are we set for that? Okay, so let's proceed to application. There we are going to solve question. Then I'm going to explain in detail. All right, I'm going to explain in detail. So let's have the first application. So application 1 is a UTME question 2021. And actually, this question has been repeated for like 5 to 7 years. The same thing. They are not changing anything. It keep coming, it keep coming, it keep coming for like 7 to 5 years. When I went through the past question, that's what I discovered. So you have to understand this question because it can come out again in your UTME. Is that okay? So let's have the question. What is that question that we need to get how to go about the solution? So we have the question to be make C make C the subject of the formula. When x equals to ut plus 1 over 2 at squared. All right. Are we together? If you are together, please signify as we're about to solve this question. Okay, let's have the solution. Please follow attentively. S equals to ut plus 1 over 2 at squared. So what we have to do here is that we have to make t, letter T, the what? Variable of what? Focus, or the subject of the formula. Or the subject of the formula. Okay? And when you look at this formula, if you are very conversant with your physics, this is an equation under equation of motion. Is an equation under equation of what? Motion in physics. Okay, what I have to do is that how will I work it out that t will be equals to something? That's what I'm after. Okay, now to solve this, we take this s is having a positive value before. Okay, s has a positive value before. We take it out. When we take it out, we have it as ut plus 1 over t, 1 over at squared. Is it going to be minus x or plus x again? When it has crossed the equal sign, what are you going to have? Minus x or plus x? Minus x. Then we said everything is equals to what? 0. Okay, everything is equals to 0. Now, what else to do? We are still targeting how to get t. Okay, now I can rearrange this expression because this expression looks like a quadratic equation. It looks like a quadratic equation and actually is a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c, if you can still remember. All right, this is a quadratic equation. Do you agree with me? This is what a quadratic equation. So assume that this x squared we have here is also the t squared, and this x is also the what? Ordinary t, and this c here represent the what? S in this expression. Do you get that? So let's rearrange it so that it's going to fit in the arrangement of a quadratic expression. I will say 1 over 2 at squared, so that I have this as the first expression as quadratic expression. Then I will have plus ut, which stands for bx. Okay, then I will have minus s equals to 0. Minus x stands for what? C. Minus x stands for what? C. Do we get that? Do we get that so that we can proceed? All right, so thank you for your response. We'll move on. So I'm going to clean this part so I can continue the solution at this part of the board. This question comes out virtually every year. So we need to know how they solve it. And they are not changing anything. It's the same way they brought it last year. It was brought out the same way 2 years ago, the same way 2 years ago. So if you go through your past question, you will see that it's not changing. Okay? It's not changing. So we need to get it, how it is being solved. Okay? Now, if this now is a quadratic expression, in mathematics, we have three ways to solve a quadratic expression, either by factorization method, or by completely square method, or by graphical method. So I'm going to use the formula method. Yes, we also have the formula method. I'm going to use the formula method to solve this question. I will say that because I want to look for t is what I'm looking for. So I will say t equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I believe you've seen this formula before. If yes, okay, so that is a what? A formula method to solve quadratic expression. Now, let's pick out our value. A, what is A? This is what we have as A here. Let's check here. All this thing here stands for what? A, because it's beside t squared. So all those representations stand for what? A. So A equals to 1 over 2A. Is that clear to us? 1 over 2A. Is that clear? B equals to what we have beside the t, which is what? U. So B equals to U. Now what is C? C equals to minus x, not ordinary x, but minus x. So we have minus x. Is this clear to us? Is this clear to us? Okay, now let's go. So all we need to do is to substitute all these expressions, all these letters inside the formula method. So we now say t equals to b is u. So that means I'm going to have minus u plus or minus the square root of b again is what? U, and you put your square minus 4 in brackets. What is A? A is 1 over 2A. 1 over 2A. Write everything. 1 over 2A. Okay? You can close your brackets, then open another bracket. What is C? C is what? Minus x. Minus x. Minus x. Okay? Everything over 2A, which is 2 in brackets 1 over 2A. 1 over 2A. I believe that is clear to us. So let's proceed. In this case here, now, okay, so we can say here that 2 here cancel 2. So 2 is gone. Do you agree with me? And I can say here also 2 here, 1. 2 here is what? 2. Do you agree with me? So now, if that's the case, I'm left with minus u plus or minus the square root of u square. Okay, now what we have left here is 2, not 4 again, because I've done some division. So I'm going to do multiplication of all this together. The minus here, multiply this minus. We are going to have what? Plus. I believe that is clear to us. The minus here, multiply this minus, we are going to have plus. Now, 2 times A times X. 2 times A times X will give us what? 2AX. All right? Will give us 2AX. Is that taken? So now, here at the denominator, we have what? Ordinary A left now. What we have at the denominator is A. So over A. over what? A. So the final answer is t equals to minus u plus or minus the square root of u squared plus 2as. Okay? But you can go further, okay, and bring out this A. You can bring him out and say 1 over A. Because A here is a denominator, that's why I'm writing 1 over A. Then I'll put in bracket minus u plus or minus the square root of u squared minus, plus 2as. Then you close your bracket. What I have here and this is the same thing. It's not having any difference. Okay? We have no difference there. And if you check t, do you have t in this expression here? We don't have t in it. If you check everything we have here, is there t in it? Do you have t inside it? Do you have letter t in it? Do you have letter t in this expression that I circled? No. So that means we are accurately what? Correct. Because I said that if I'm considering t to be the variable focus or the subject of the formula, t must not appear at the other side. Is not allowed. So you can see with this solution, we are what? We are accurately correct. Okay. So I believe that is clear to us. Or is the explanation clear to us? Okay. One more reaction and we'll move on. Can we move on? All right, so we are going to take application 2. Application 2 now. So permit me to clean the board. Please take note of this question. It comes out very well. You can go through your past question. You keep seeing the question repeated and repeated and repeated, and they are not changing anything. Still the same way they brought it some years ago. It still repeated itself 2024. So please ensure you go through your past questions and confirm that. Okay? So let's go on with the next example. So now we're going to have up to. Okay. Does formula method work for all polynomial questions? No, it's only for this question that it requires a formula method. The next one we are going to take, we are going to make justice with that. You will see that we're not going to use formula method. We'll just solve it a normal way that we need to solve it. Is that taken? So now let's look at this question together. That's UTME 2018. If gt squared minus 4 minus w equals to 0, make letter G subject of the formula. All right, make letter G subject of the formula. All right, so follow attentively. Okay, follow me so we can solve this together, and we'll try as much as possible to make the solution detailed. All right, so we are given gt squared minus 4 minus w equals to 0. Make G the subject of the formula. That means the what? Variable of focus is what? What's our variable of focus? What is our variable of focus? G. Thank you for your response, Carlo. Our variable of focus is what? Is G. All right, so now let's join in together to make G the subject of the formula. Let's join in together to make G the subject of the formula. All right, so all you need to do is find a way to remove anything besides that G. Okay, anything that seems to be beside him, take them away, let them be in another site, and let Mr. G, that is the G we are working with, to stay alone, to stand alone. Okay? So if I take this guy, outside, okay, and I take this guy also, I take him outside, okay, I'm going to have GT squared equals to 4 plus W. Do you agree with me? What we have just done is what we call collection of like terms. Collection of like terms. Okay, all right. So let's go on. We still have somebody beside G, and he's not supposed to be there. Okay, what is that? That is T. This T square is not supposed to be there. All I need is just letter G. Letter what? Letter G. Okay, so if I have T square beside G, that means I have to divide both sides by anything that causes an hindrance for G to stand alone. And that thing is T square. T what? T square. So we say divide both sides, divide both sides by T square. So we have G T square equals to 4 plus W over T square over T square. All right. So by so doing this, T square cancel T square, and we are left with what? G equals to 4 plus W over T square. Do you get that? Now we have ordinary G equals to 4 plus W over what? T squared. When you check here, you see that we don't have G here. We don't have G. So that means it is absolutely what? Correct. We don't have G in this expression. Is that taken? So I believe that is clear to us. Is that clear to us? Okay, now I quickly want us to do one more. Let's assume now from here, I said make C subject of the formula. Subject of the formula. So I'm going to pick it from here. We're having TG square equals to 4 plus W. Now, in this case, I want to make T, letter T, the variable focus. I want to make letter T the subject of the formula. Do you get that? Now, that means the first thing I have to do is to take away Mr. G. All right? Is that correct? Yes, of course. So we are going to have divide. I'm solving another question already. Divide both sides by G. Divide both sides by what? G. Permit me to clean this side so we can proceed. Okay. So we are dividing both sides by letter G. We are going to have the next expression, which I'm going to be writing now. Okay, so let's proceed. Dividing both sides by letter G, we're going to have GT squared over G equals to 4 plus W over what? G. All right. So what will happen here? We have G cancel G. So we are left with what? Letter T. We are left with T squared equals to 4 plus W over what? G. Is that clear to us? Is that clear? Now, do you know that we are not yet done with this question? What we got is t squared, but we are asked to get letter t, not t squared, but letter t, not t squared. So I need to get this. This is what they want me to get, t. But this man called Mr. T has a square on him. So how do we take away the square? Yes? I want your response to the chat box. How do we take away this square? This square here? How do we take it away? Can I have your response in the chat box? We square root both sides. We square root both sides. I said it earlier that you cancel a square by a square root. You cancel a square by a what? A square root. Okay? Thanks for your response, Jane and Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Okay? So we have square root of t squared equals to square root of 4 plus w over g. So square cancels square root. C equals to square root of 4 plus w over g. Is that clear to us? Okay, thumbs up, thumbs up. We are moving on to the next applications. All right, thanks for your response. So let's move on to the next application. That's application 3. We are going to clean the board, so we take the next application. Application 3. Let's consider another UTME question. Okay. UTME 2012. Make n the subject of the formula. If W equals to V brackets 2 plus Cn, close the brackets, over 1 minus Cn. Okay, so that's the expression. We're asked to make n subject of the formula, or let me say we are asked to make n the variable of what? Focus. So let's go together and solve this question. All right, so how do we make n subject of the formula? We have W equals to V in brackets 2 plus Cn, close the bracket, over 1 minus Cn. All right, so looking at this expression, the first thing that comes to our mind is that both the n and the n are not in the same place, right? They are in different positions, yes or no? Okay, noted, noted. So both of them are not in the same position. Both of them are not in the same position. All right, so we are going to express this as W over 1. W over 1, okay? When you have W over 1, that means I can cross multiply. I can what? Cross multiply. Is that taken? So let me change my ink and proceed. If I cross multiply, I will have W, open bracket, 1 minus Cn. That's cross multiply. Oh, Jane, I believe you can see the board now. Is it okay from your own hand? Jane, can you see now? Can you see the writings? Okay. So if I cross multiply, I will have this equals to 1 will multiply this. That will be V in brackets 2 plus CN, close the brackets. Okay. So another hint or tips is that when you have a bracket, you first have to expand the bracket, that is open the bracket. Okay. W multiplied by 1 is W. W multiplied by Cn is WCN. WCN equals to V multiplied by 2 is 2V plus V multiplied by Cn is what? Is VCN. All right. Is that clear to us? Can we proceed? Okay. So now what we need to do, okay, let me come again. I was trying to open the brackets. Jane, follow us. I said W multiplied by 1. This W multiplied by 1 is what? W. Is that clear to you? And the same W again will multiply this Cn. If W multiplies Cn, it will be WCN. All right. Now we came to the other side also to open the bracket. And we said V multiplied 2 is 2V. And the same V again multiplies Cn. It is what? VCN. Is that clear now? Is that clear to you now? Can we proceed? Okay. Now let's move on with what? We need to collect the like terms. Collect like terms. Okay, like terms is a simple definition of like terms is a group of the same family, individuals that hails from the same family. That's what I call like terms. Okay, people that are from the same family should be one side, and those that from other family also should be what? One side. So I want to consider the family of Cn. The family of what? Cn. So this guy is from the family of Cn, and this guy is from the family of what? Cn. So I will bring them together because they are from the same family. Okay? Their surname is what? Cn. Cn is their surname. Okay? Cn is their surname. So they are from the same family. Let's bring them together. So if I'm going to do that, I will have W, which is this one I'm having here. Okay. Now, if this guy is coming outside, this guy also should go and meet his own family. He's not having Cn, so he cannot stay with Cn. He has to go and meet his own family that does not have Cn. So by doing that, he's going to come inside here. Okay, he's going to come inside, and it was a positive value before. It was plus 2v. So when plus 2v cross the borderline, when plus 2v cross the equal sign, it becomes minus 2v. Minus what? 2v. So we are going to have minus 2v equals to what we have here before, this value that we have here before, which is v VCN. All right, VCN. Now, if this WCN, okay, if it also moves out of the equal sign to the other side, it becomes what? Is it plus or minus? It becomes what? If minus WCN moves to the other side, it becomes what? Plus or minus? Plus. Good. It becomes plus WCN. Plus WCN. So that is collection of like terms. Anytime a variable, a number, a sign moves to the other side of the equal sign, it has to change its sign. It has to change its what? Its sign. Is that taken? Are we on the same page? Can we proceed? Okay. Now you can see that the family of Cn are together. So we are getting closer to our response. And that's why I'm smiling. Okay. So let's proceed on. If Cn, we have n, we have n is common to both sides. That's the knowledge of factorization. When you have an alphabet that is common to both sides, that means you can factorize. You can what? Factorize. Okay. So if I'm going to factorize n out, I'll say factorize n. That means I'm going to have w minus 2v equals to, factorize means pull out n from the expression. N will be outside and the remaining things will be inside the bracket. We are going to have vc plus wc. Do you get this? Can we proceed now? Okay. Okay, let's go. Or better still, since we have Cn that is common, let's factorize Cn. Let's go ahead to factorize Cn since we have Cn that is common to both sides. So that will ease the stress. Factorize Cn. We are going to have w minus 2v equals to Cn bracket v plus w. I believe this is clear also, Abi. Now let's go ahead to, we are working towards getting n. We are working towards getting what? N. This guy beside n, this guy, this bracket, let's take him away. And how do we take him away? We take him away by bringing him under this place as what? A denominator. You bring him under this place as a what? Denominator. That means you have divided both sides by v plus w. You have divided both sides by what? V plus w. Okay? So if you do that, you're going to have w minus 2v over v plus w equals to Cn. Equals to what? Cn. Equals to what? Cn. Is that clear to us? Okay. Now let's proceed. We are getting the answer already. We have C beside N. So I need to divide both sides by what? C. Divide both sides by C. Okay? So we are going to have W minus 2V over V plus W divided by C equals to Cn over C. Do you get this? So C cancel C. We have ordinary what? N. We have ordinary N. Ordinary what? N. So permit me to clean this part so we can continue the solution here. Okay. Permit me to clean this part. We have the continuation. Okay. I want you to first take a screenshot before I clean that part. Please kindly take a screenshot of the solution before I clean it. And if you are done taking it, say type done. Done. If you are done taking the screenshot, just type done so we can move on. If you are done taking the screenshot, done. Okay, Emmanuel is done. Yes, responses. If you have taken the screenshot of this solution, type done so we can move on to the next. Done. Okay, thank you. So let's go ahead now to clean it. So I want us to have a complete note. It's very important that you screenshot the solutions and later put them down inside your notes and study them more. Okay? So now we are going to get a final answer within few seconds. Few seconds, we are having the answer already. Need to clean my board. All right. So let's go. We continue now. So we are going to have n equals to w minus 2v over v plus w, okay, divided by c. All right. N equals to, we cannot simplify division except we change it to what? Multiplication. Okay, multiplication. So I'm going to have w minus 2v over v plus w. When you change this to multiplication, we are going to have the reciprocal of what? C. If I have a, the reciprocal of a is 1 over what? A. So what's going to be the reciprocal of C? What will be the reciprocal of C? 1 over C. Okay, any other response? The reciprocal of C is 1 over C. Okay, great response. Great response. Great response. Okay, let's continue. So the reciprocal of a letter or a number, it is the inverse of that number. If I have A, the reciprocal of A is 1 over what? A. The reciprocal of 2y is 1 over 2y. Is that taken? So Jane, if I ask you that what's the reciprocal of W, what will be your answer? Jane, what will be the answer of the reciprocal of W? Jane, okay, I'm going to come again. I said A is the alphabet, and the reciprocal of A is 1 over A. You always have 1. It means you are writing the inverse of that number. A is the alphabet. The reciprocal of A is 1 over A. 2y, the reciprocal of 2y is 1 over 2y. So what's going to be the reciprocal of W? Jane, do you have any response for that? The reciprocal of W. 1 over W, awesome. Great response. Emmanuel, great response. Jane, great response. Thanks for your responses. So we're going to have the reciprocal of C, which is, after we have changed it to times, now we have 1 over C. 1 over C. So we have taken the reciprocal of what? C. We have taken the reciprocal of C like that. So we'll go ahead to write the final response. UP, we have gotten our answer, and N equals to 1 over C in brackets W minus 2V over V plus W, close brackets. Close brackets. I believe that is clear to us. All right, thank you for your response. So if you check here also, you see that N is not appearing in it. That is the way you know when you are what, doing the right thing, okay? You know that you are doing the right thing when you see that N is not appearing at the other side. So UP, we've gotten our what? Our answer for this question, okay? So all you need to do is to practice more questions on subjects of the formula. So I'm going to refer us to the A1 Tutor app, which you are using for this live session. Go and check for subject of the formula under class SS2, yes, mathematics, and watch a detailed video on it. Watch a detailed video on subject of the formula. We have it in SS2. We also have it in JS3. So watch a detailed video on it and widen your knowledge. Okay. And don't forget also practice UTME question on subject of the formula on that same A1 Tutor app. Okay. On that same A1 Tutor app. Okay. For the sake of our friends that were not present today for the class, please do well to tell them they don't have to panic. All they need to do is to log into YouTube, search for A1 Tutor, and you have the list of all classes, the video of all classes on the YouTube channel, so they can have a detailed of it. Okay, so thank you for your time. See you tomorrow. We'll continue the topic tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.